The women in the European Union have both very good things and things to be still improved. I think from the positive thing that the European Union is the champion, I think, in the world on the policy development and legislation, which in a way gives a possibility, if women know about it, individual women, to really exercise their possibilities, rights, and I think that is not comparable with many countries or many regions in the world. From the challenges, it's still very much, if you take different pieces of how the different legislation is implemented. And if we take, for example, the pension gap, the pension gap is for women, it's 39%. In the European Union, which I heard today in the world in general is 40, so that shows that it's still very much the future for the women and aging generation, that women will be more at risk of poverty, despite being in the European Union also at the same level as the world. If you think about part-time, for example, part-time employment, also what we found out in our research, that it's women who are self-employed, they face a risk, the pay gap between men who are self-employed and women is 45%, which shows that it's very, very big challenges. If you take women in decision-making, of course there is many figures, it's decreased and increased, and now, for example, the European Parliament, it's like 2% increase, but it still shows that the policies are still formulated and adopted by men, which means that we are not a part of it as actively as we could be. There could be many ways, of course, to meet the challenges. And the one way, again, it was mentioned in the opening speech, is that if we don't have a very accurate statistics, and we don't have indicators to see and measure and show the situation, we cannot define properly the objectives and what we need to change. And for example, our agency is working exactly with this in order to show to the decision makers that that is a challenge. If you don't know, you cannot measure. Other things is, of course, the stereotypes. And this is a very long way. And if you think that the parents, the men, for example, take the difference, even it's the same regulation, but the men in some member states take 0.5% of men take parental leave, and in some member states it's 11, even if it's not much, but the gap is big. And for example, there is very much which we all have to work with. And if you take, for example, elderly, if you take the care responsibilities, it's still, very stereotypes, which shows that there are still 38% of women in the European Union state that they work 70 hours per week, paid and unpaid work, and it's only 13% of men who do that, which again shows that there's very much which we all can do without policies, without legislation. It's just to try to start doing that.